from the rest.
Wow, the Dane bedroom sounds great. I can't wait to see the film adaptation.
The Dane bedroom, starting at $82.48 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Gruber Law Offices, serving the people of Wisconsin for over 30 years. Call us today if you've been injured. Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers manager Pat Murphy awarded National League Manager of the Year for the second consecutive season. Murphy led Milwaukee to a record of 97-65, best in MLB this season. Bucks will face off with the Charlotte Hornets tonight. The Bucks enter the night at 7-4 after a dramatic 116-114 win over the Mavericks Monday. Men's college basketball, number 22 Wisconsin beat Ball State 86-55 in Madison. Tonight, Marquette will host Arkansas Little Rock, and Milwaukee will face Indiana on the road. On the women's side, Marquette lost to Minnesota 90-47 on the road. Tonight, Wisconsin continues its homestand against Bowling Green. Football, Badgers hit the road to face number 2 Indiana on Saturday. Badgers Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. And Packers will be back on the road this week. Green Bay battles the Giants Sunday afternoon in the Meadowlands. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We did have an earlier crash. It looks like that has been cleared off the right shoulder. This is going to be I-41 West at 43 South. May still be some residual slowing there. 41 South Highway Q to the Zoo, still a little bit slow this morning. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny, windy, mild today, high 50. Clear, breezy tonight with a low 34. Sunny and mild tomorrow with a high of 52. Sunny on Friday, high 55. Increasing cloudiness Saturday, but breezy and warm. Maybe an afternoon or evening shower. High Saturday up to 62. Then Sunday, mostly sunny with the high back down to 50. 44 in Madison, 43 in Green Bay, 44 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristen Bride.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Kristen is off today on assignment, although she will be joining us for the big event, the trivia event tonight. We'll give you lots of information about that as we go through the show today. It starts at 7 p.m. at Revere's, I think is the name of the place. Never been there, so I'm actually excited about seeing some folks there. And I know I've done a few of these before. The listeners always show up, fans of the show, so I will look forward to meeting many of you tonight and competing. Well, I can't compete, but I'll help you compete for prizes and all the exciting things that happen. And it's for a great cause, so that's sort of the perfect way to sort of launch into the holiday season. I was talking with Kristen the other day about whether my new Christmas, I called it a smoking jacket. It's not really that. I went cheap, and I probably shouldn't have. So it's not exactly what I wanted. But did it arrive in the mail or by delivery yesterday? So it has been freshly pressed and ready for its debut tonight at the event, which starts at 7 p.m. at Revere's. All right. So today's a big day in politics. Why do I say that? Well, we had the vote a couple days ago. Senate 60-40 said, "All right, we're going to end this shutdown." And Chris and I have spent a lot of time in the interim between then and now, and today's Wednesday. It is one of those things that it's probably going to end today, and the House is set to take it up. I think the official vote time is 7:10 our time, 6:10 our time, 7:10 their time, with some hours of debate, obviously starting in the afternoon leading up to that, and we'll see in what mood Democrats and Republicans are in the House, led by Speaker Mike Johnson, to sort of debate some of the talking points of the Senate bill and whether they have some disputes or disagreements about any of that. So we'll hear about that as the day goes on. And, of course, those of us at the event tonight will hear or see what the results of that vote will be, and ultimately to end the shutdown. What does that mean? Well, it means people go back to work. Museums in Washington, D.C. open. paychecks are back paid and sent out, or probably more accurately transmitted to people's bank accounts, direct deposit. And maybe, just maybe, life goes back to normal. Now, that definition of normal is always one that's open for wide debate. Here's why it's not normal. Because just at the same time that the House takes up consideration of the Senate bill to end the shutdown, there's another very, very big topic looming in front of them. What is that topic? It's a name, and that's Epstein. And that refers to the Epstein files. And I know enough Republicans who I've talked with, either on the show or away from the show, about this issue, and it's an awkward topic. Because here's the main reason why it's an awkward topic for Republicans. What are the nature of it? The highly sexualized, alleged conduct between adults and primarily young women, I should say young girls, at the estates or other locations related to Jeffrey Epstein, now deceased, and who that links to. And, of course, the breaking news this morning, if you haven't seen it or heard it, email exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell about our current president, Donald Trump, having spent hours alone, this is a direct quote from the email, with an underage girl. Not good news for the president. He has responded. I saw that he was just quoted on one of the banners on one of the networks that we have on display here at our studios, Annex Wealth Management Studios here at the Avenue Studios of GKB and WTMJ, that he said fake news, Democratic hoax, two direct quotes from the president. This is where this is going to get ugly, because we all remember, and we've talked about it, the sort of weirdness of the House not being in session for as long as, I think, September 19th was the last full day. And the Arizona Congresswoman, her name escapes me at the moment, but she hasn't been sworn in. Speaker Mike Johnson apparently has said that will happen today, sometime in the afternoon session. And that dynamic is important because it changes the vote tally for potential release of the Epstein files. And this is where it gets crazy. And we're also going to, this is sort of a two-fronted attack here. One, will the files just be released? Or will a very Trump-friendly Department of Justice and FBI and all the other agencies remove, I would argue illegally, any mention of him in any document from those files? To me, illegal. Love to hear what some of the experts say. We'll certainly ask Bill and Joe about this on Friday. So that's sort of the drama that's underway in Washington, D.C. today. Shutdown might end. Epstein just getting wound up again with the potential vote to release those files. After the break, got to bring a smart guy in to talk about the shutdown. Brian Jacobson, chief economist at Annex Wealth Management, will join us after the break right here on 620 WTMJ.
You're not just a job number as a Sidex customer. They've been family-owned since 1988, and they treat you as part of their family. Upgrade and transform your current bathroom space with Sidex Windows Siding and Bath. They have seasoned design consultants with 10 to 30 years of experience. The owner, Joe, is honoring his dad's legacy with top-tier products and expert craftsmanship. It's Sidex, the best in the business. Get a free shower door upgrade when you mention WTMJ. Visit sidexremodel.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
I give up. Where are they?
Who?
Hasselus Mattress employees.
Hasselus Mattress showrooms really are employee-free. Give our mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Don't believe it.
You won't believe our prices either. Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more for way less. Free next-day delivery, too.
Sure. Next you'll say I can get a free adjustable base with my purchase through Monday.
As a matter of fact, yes.
Oh, come on!
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You ever wonder how your house would look if it were a different color, or had a new roof, or maybe a splashy front door? Well, you can see for yourself just by going to TriCountyContractingWI.com. Add a photo of your house and design a new look. Then call them when you're ready. TriCountyContractingWI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, West Bend Vacuum and Inspired Closets. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
As I said in the open, the shutdown tentatively scheduled for votes in the House, provided they don't make any changes to that Senate bill on shutting down the shutdown. Who better to talk to than Chief Economic Strategist from Annex Wealth Management, Brian Jacobson, my friend, and all-around smart guy. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Great to be here.
All right, so as somebody who looks at these things every day of his life, probably, hopefully not every day, because everybody needs time off, Brian. We know this, right?
Well, every day, multiple times a day. What can I say?
Right. So as you see it, let's talk about the sort of the politics of it, or at least the nuts and bolts of it. Do you get the sense that this will be resolved from the sort of the legislative side today?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is our expectation, is that this will be voted on today. It will pass. In fact, when we look at prediction markets, there's almost like a contract for everything out there. It seems like it is a very high probability that it will pass. Now, in terms of the, how quickly does it take then to get the gears of government running again? It's kind of like an old jalopy, I think, in terms of needing a little bit of a kickstart. You have to check the carburetor, maybe, turn a crank here or there. So it could take a while. But at least legislatively, it does seem like they'll be able to get this across the finish line.
So you stole my thunder a little bit, because I was going to ask you sort of the mechanization to sort of get back to normal, whatever normal is defined in Washington, D.C. But for those who are invested, for those who are looking at retirement or even, just saving their money or investing in the markets to sort of advance their future retirement, what is the messaging from this shutdown end to those folks that we're going to get back to normal here?
Well, at least normal for now. If you look at the history of shutdowns, they oftentimes happen in clusters. They get these agreements to reopen, but then there's a fairly tight deadline for when funding expires again, and then you just kind of see Groundhog's Day where it's all over again. And in fact, with this one, there are a few programs that will be fully funded until September 30th, so the rest of the fiscal year. So things like, SNAP benefits, if we look at the agreement for no longer having the reduction in force, no longer having to worry about will furloughed workers be paid back pay or not. So those things fully funded, but everything else, right, it has basically an end of January expiration date. And so this could be like what we saw in the late 1970s, oftentimes in the 1980s, where you have a protracted shutdown to begin with. And then you almost have kind of like these rolling periodic shutdowns that might last a few days until they cobble together some sort of agreement again.
So we often talk about, and you have done this with me, and certainly Dave Spano, CEO of Annex Wealth Management, about the three-legged stool when it comes to your financial plan. But if you look at the three-legged stool of some of the decisions being made in Washington, we have the tax cut extension, we have the shutdown hopefully ending today. And the third piece, you just sort of alluded to that, is sort of health care and policy going forward. If those things fall into place, it suggests that for investors and people looking at their financial investments and plans, could be a stabler, and that's always a guess, stabler 2026.
Well, that is the hope, is that we could see that, but it is a midterm year. And just historically, when we look at how the market behaves in midterm elections years, it does tend to be a little bit choppier. And I mean, maybe this is a variety of other reasons, but if you think about what oftentimes happens is coming out of a presidential election, you have a lot of optimism. We saw that initially. Then you have a little bit of reality striking in as far as the costs of making adjustments. Midterm year, oftentimes the party in power ends up losing some seats, so that it introduces a new type of uncertainty, where it might be that longer term, what's going to get done, if anything, over the next 2 years, and will there then be a change of leadership when we're looking out at the end of that 2-year cycle? So in terms of with the government funding and the tax code, yes, we're going to have almost a more certainty there, but it introduces a new type of uncertainty that the market tends to then shift its attention to.
Let's talk short term. What has been, if any, the immediate market reaction to the shutdown potentially ending today?
Yeah, a lot more enthusiasm over that, and I think understandably so, because when we think about how some of the stocks might behave, the exposure to consumer staples in terms of the SNAP benefits, if you look at the travel delays, what that's causing, which isn't just about like hotels and airlines. People travel for business, and if there's delays there, the deals that aren't getting done, the business that's not being conducted. So we have seen some of that reopening enthusiasm. Now, keep in mind, this has been very well telegraphed. The market moves in anticipation of these things. So sometimes you can get this phenomenon where there's almost like this buy the rumor and sell the news kind of thing, where people get excited about it, but then the focus shifts to, our AI stocks in a bubble, what's growth like? So, there's always something to worry about.
Chief Economist and Chief Economic Strategist for Annex Wealth Management, Brian Jacobson, joining us on Point Taken on 620 WTMJ. In your mind, looking at all these things every day, what are the things, because I not talking about just short-term stuff, but a little bit longer play is what happens to interest rates, the Fed policy, because we know that during the shutdown, some of the numbers they base these decisions on aren't readily available, or aren't being able to be put together and assessed, probably more importantly, across the country. In that term, in that number, as far as interest rates and Fed policy, are you confident that sort of will fix itself as we get back to business?
We should be getting more of those data releases rolling out maybe as soon as next week, Tuesday, where the jobs report for the month of September, they had the data, and they were just a couple days away from releasing it, but then you had the shutdown, so they couldn't. Now, that number might come out, and based upon other information, we always like to kind of triangulate on what these readings are and how reliable are the official statistics relative to alternative data sources. And it does suggest that maybe September we did see a slight improvement in the labor market, but then another kind of slight pullback then in October, almost like a bouncing ball, where it goes up, it goes down a little bit. And that type of dynamic, in my mind, would suggest that the Fed should still be on track to cut in December. But most of the Fed officials, they didn't want to pre-commit to it because they don't know what that data is going to say.
Your best educated guess is, though, you think they will keep those cuts coming?
I do. The issue to me is more along the lines of, will they then cut in 2026? Will they take a meeting off? Most likely that is the case. They think that they are getting interest rates down to sort of this, what they would consider a more neutral level. They are still restrictive. It's restricting economic activity. And if they do one more cut, maybe two, then that would be sort of a sweet spot for the long term. And so if the economic momentum shows that it's not deteriorating, then they could say, all right, we're going to do one more, and then we're going to be done.
Well, let's start with the baby step part. Let's get the shutdown net in, and then we can start moving forward on the rest. Brian Jacobson, Chief Economic Strategist for Annex Wealth Management. Always enjoy the sharing of your wisdom, Brian.
Yep, great being here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, so if you want more wisdom, and tax planning is the subject, you can review what tasks you need to prioritize and what might require attention in an upcoming, this is next Tuesday, so I'll be there, Annex Wealth Management webinar with Director of Financial Planning Eric Strom, Tom Burkholz, Senior Financial Planner Team Lead, smart guy as well, and yours truly, next Tuesday, November 18th at 1 p.m. I got to hustle out of here, get over to their beautiful studios, and you can register right now. Visit WTMJ.com, just find the Annex webinar tab, and you can just go to AnnexWealth.com. That's where you get started anyway, and click on the events tab, and you'll find out all the information. You can sign up for some other ones as well. It's a great resource, and it's a great way to, as they say, get started. And while you're there, look around. Might change your financial future. Annex Wealth Management. Quick break here on 620 WTMJ.
We all have one. That junk drawer, old keys, dead batteries, a phone charger from 2008. But somewhere in there are the tools you actually need. They're just buried in the clutter. For many people, their finances look the same way. Scattered, outdated, unproductive. A financial junk drawer. At Annex Wealth Management, we help you clean out that junk drawer. Organize what matters, eliminate what doesn't, and plan with purpose. And we'll do it as a fee-only fiduciary. Start today at AnnexWealth.com. That's Annex Wealth Management.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Does this sound like you, where every step or reach is a reminder of what hurts, a reminder of what you're not able to do, and how far you've drifted from the life you used to have when you didn't feel that pain? Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi here. Oh, do I have good news for you? Because relief is closer than you think, and it doesn't have to come from a scalpel. What if it could come from you? At QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli and her team tap into your body's own regenerative power using natural healing factors that help restore and repair damaged tissue, reduce inflammation, and relieve pain at its source. It's not science fiction. It's your body's comeback story, powered by the very cells that built you in the first place. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery, just your body remembering how to feel alive again. Imagine swinging that golf club, hiking that trail, dancing in the kitchen to your favorite tune. That's the freedom QC Kinetics helps people rediscover every day. Don't mask the pain. Let QC Kinetics regain what pain took away. And this Veterans Day, QC Kinetics is giving back to our heroes. Veterans will get $500 off their treatment for every non-veteran who starts care. QC Kinetics will donate $500 to the Wounded Warrior Project. It's a great time to book your free consultation, so call QC Kinetics today, 414-667-5559.
Looking for a fun and meaningful way to kick off the holiday season? Join us for the 20th anniversary of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive, Saturday, December 13th at the Kasmeric Center in Grafton. This free, family-friendly event is a celebration of giving. Bring a new, unwrapped toy and help brighten the holidays for children and families in need across Wisconsin. To learn more or get involved, visit kidstokidstoydrive.com and join us on December 13th in Grafton.
Your way inside the huddle. Hit one, hit two, without putting on any pads.
Hi.
It's Green and Gold Insiders on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
When you're playing and you're going through the season, every win's a good win. Some are better than others. Beat a really good team, it feels like a better win, but that's hard to do in the NFL.
Green and Gold Insiders is presented by Window Nation. It's Green and Gold Insiders all season long, right here on WTMJ.
Got a couple minutes here before the bottom of the hour news for your kids. That's 10:30. Top of the hour, at least the next one is 11 o'clock. A little education for the youngsters out there. Here's the interesting thing. I've been looking at some of the demos on some of the related projects we do, and we are skewing younger than we have in the past, and maybe that's because my sidekick, Kristen, brings in a younger demographic profile of listeners and fans of the show, which is a good thing, by the way, and she will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm off. I'm doing an event tomorrow at Freighter's private event on a rare cancer that I've done for a few years now. It's a fascinating story. I remember a few years ago I interviewed the late Mike Lovell from Marquette, a brilliant man, fantastic leader, gone too soon, certainly, and he was a joy to work with, and he talked about his, at the time, battle with a rare cancer. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. But tonight, folks, we kick off the Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive, and it's at Revere's in Delafield. I've never been there, so I'm excited. It starts at 7 officially, but I would say get there. I'm going to be there early. I'll probably be there at 6. Yeah, you meet and greets. Dave being the new smoking jacket, although I won't be smoking. And just sort of saying hi to everybody. Kristen will be there even though she's off from the show. We'll have a lot of our teammates there. Of course, a lot of other fans of the show. So come on out. It benefits, as I said, Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive. You can bring an unused toy. I think you can enter you get entered in a raffle if you bring a toy, or text the word toy, TOY, to 855-616-1622. Donate. Bring your crew, your team, play for a good cause. It's a lot of fun. I've done, I think, 3 of these now, 3 or 4 maybe, at different places. It is a great way to sort of kickstart your holiday season. That's the way I look at it. It's why I always debut the jackets. I retired my previous one that I've had for about 5 years. It was looking a little shabby, to be honest. So that's retired. Bringing out the red one tonight. That one was green. This one's red. So we're going to launch that all tonight. So join us at Revere's in Delafield, 7 p.m. But get there early. Get a seat. All right, coming up in the next half. I have not seen this smart woman in a long time. Tracy Johnson, my pal, my fill-in host, smart woman, a CEO of Car W here in Milwaukee, and a brilliant broadcaster, too. She's going to join us. We're going to talk about some of that 794 stuff, part of a new study and some of the study that's revolving around that. We have local news updates, of course, with Connie Weber. Before we get to that, here's the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry. Preston, Democrats on the House Oversight Committee releasing emails sent to and from Jeffrey Epstein, and some of them do reference Donald Trump. ABC's Jay O'Brien.
Committee Democrats releasing this January 2019 email where Epstein corresponds with author Michael Wolff less than 6 months before the financier would be charged again, this time with sex trafficking of minors. Discussing President Trump's repeated claim he kicked Epstein out of his Palm Beach club, Epstein writing, Trump said he asked me to resign, never a member ever. Of course, he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop.
House Republicans accused Democrats of cherry-picking which excerpts to release. The House today expected to vote on the Senate bill to reopen the federal government. House Speaker Mike Johnson also will be swearing in Arizona Democrat Adelita Grijalva as its newest member. She is the final signature on a petition to release all the Epstein files. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. A teen from Milwaukee will spend decades in prison for a violent sexual assault. 17-year-old Tremonte Kirk was sentenced to 35 years behind bars plus 20 years of extended supervision for attacking a 54-year-old woman in the elevator of her apartment building in December of 2024. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of second-degree sexual assault and aggravated battery. Prosecutors call him a serial predator. Initial terms being introduced for a possible merger of the Wauwatosa and West Allis fire departments. Each city would keep its own stations and equipment, but they would split costs evenly. Officials say the merger would save both cities millions of dollars. The West Allis Professional Police Association and Common Council approved a new 4-year collective bargaining agreement. It includes a series of wage increases totaling over a 15% compounded rate through the end of 2029. Officers will get enhancements to compensate for training, overtime, funeral leave, and their annual uniform allowance. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 341 points, 48,269. NASDAQ down 82, 23,385. S&P 500 up a point at 6,848. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. The ramp from I-41 North, or 43 North rather, to 41 North right shoulder, there was blocked due to a crash. It looks like that has been cleared off the roadway. 41 South at the ramp from County G right shoulder, there blocked due to a broken down vehicle. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny, windy, mild today with a high of 50. Clear, breezy tonight, low 34 overnight. Sunny, mild again tomorrow with a high 52. Sunny on Friday, 55. Saturday, we're up to 62 with just a slight chance of an afternoon or evening shower. And Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 50. 45 in Madison, 44 in Green Bay, 45 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
Milwaukee Weight Loss is having a huge Black Friday sale with $300 off now through December 5th. Get the lowest prices of the year on the result-getting Milwaukee Weight Loss program. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with a risk of serious side effects. You can start losing those unwanted pounds either before, during, or after the holidays. No more losing weight and gaining it back. You can keep the weight off for good with this program. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi here. Take advantage, like I did, of the lowest price of the year with $300 off Milwaukee Weight Loss. I lost 45 pounds this year, and here's the cool thing. I kept the weight off. Many patients just like you and me lost 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. Call for your free consultation. 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180 or MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Hold on to your shopping carts. Fleet Farm's dropping even more deals to help you prep for Black Friday shopping. Save 30% on all NFL team apparel and accessories for the sports fans on your list. Get 15% off all Pit Boss pellet grills and accessories for your favorite outdoor chef. And buy one, get one 50% off on all games this week. Save yourself some cash and some chaos before Black Friday with great weekly deals from Fleet Farm. And check out all the sales in our weekly ad at fleetfarm.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition at goodkarmabrands.com.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this since last week when we chatted in advance of the interview. Tracy Johnson, first off, CEO and president?
CEO and president, whatever. I do name tags too, so it's good.
Commercial real estate, but you do a lot more than that. And one of those lot mores is you occasionally fill in. You haven't done it in a while.
Since June.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Do you
I
miss
said.
it?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
It is fun.
The interaction and then obviously bringing on guests and being curious. Of course, I miss that, but
Yeah,
I'm busy, but it's good.
Yeah, and as a mom, you probably got a lot to do with it as we head into the holiday season with your boys and all that stuff. So we'll probably get to that later in the thing. But one of the reasons you're here today, as one of the many reasons, is that you sort of have your finger on the pulse of what's going on with commerce, obviously real estate in Milwaukee, and the big sort of the controversial question is 794, the plan to take it down, reconstruct. There's four different versions of that.
4 different scenarios.
You and some of the people you work with commissioned a study to look at sort of the economic impact of all the alternatives or just the removal alternative.
We looked at all the alternatives
Okay.
that were currently being proposed.
All right, so what are some of the big takeaways? So to fill in the gaps for people who are just hearing this and going, okay, so what are the people that are looking at the economics here thinking about this?
I think the first thing that I'd like to kind of set the stage is why we did this study in the first place. A lot of people right away, when the removal option came to the table back in 2023, they came to the members in the commercial real estate community and said, wouldn't this be great? You're going to have dozens more acres to build buildings and create housing and all of that opportunity. And I think right away, people said, wow, yeah, I can get around this vision. That would be great. And then I started to hear from members and businesses that said, well, wait a minute, what about my existing building? What about the existing real estate? What about the region? What about the people who use the port? What about all the commuters that come into downtown Milwaukee every day? What would the impact be? And there was no answer for that. And so we decided to commission this study back in December of 2024.
Let's talk about the impacts.
Yeah.
Obviously, you and I were chatting before we started on the freight piece of this, which is north of $100 million. That's just one piece of the impact, potentially.
One piece of the impact, and that's just with a 1% change in the access to the freeway. When you talk about a 3% access, which is also something that we measured, that number triples. It's elastic, right? If you constrain the traffic, you are going to increase the impact. And as a region, we really pride ourselves on being a manufacturing hub. We pride ourselves on being a region. And as the region goes, so goes the state. And so that's why this is so important to think about as a regional asset, not just a city freeway.
I know you don't identify the manufacturers and the corporations, corporate entities that participated for good reason, because this stuff becomes so highly political.
It is,
and it becomes you become a target. But I think we have to listen to the business makers in our community, and they're telling you, okay, there are ramifications to this stuff. I would argue that a lot of the 794 talk looks at like sort of visitors to the city, like tourists. Yeah,
Yes.
that's interesting, and certainly a beautiful boulevard can be, if it's done right, looks sexy and cool for a city. But that is some pretty valuable real estate, and how it's used, changes that are implemented certainly are going to impact all the things you just talked about.
Well, I think it's also important to note that the Department of Transportation for the state of Wisconsin is really looking at a lot of the improvement alternatives, and a lot of the improvement and redesign alternatives free up a lot of that real estate without cutting off the region.
Interesting. You think that's well known, that fact?
I think it is known, but it's not necessarily taken into consideration. I think we're spending a lot of time on the removal option when I think everybody knows that that is not realistic. Let's talk about those commute times that DOT just came out with.
What was the average impact? 11 minutes or something like that?
They couldn't give me an average number, but let's just put it as me trying to get to Southridge from downtown Milwaukee. That's going to go from 12 minutes to 30 minutes.
Right.
You're going to be tripling your commute time, and that's going to put a real strain on people's ability to move about the city.
I think you're right about that, because I'm someone that actually uses the city streets of downtown all the time to get to a eventual link. And I don't always go home right after the show. I have other things that I have to do. And while everyone loves, again, this idea of a fancy boulevard, when you have stoplight after stoplight after stoplight and all the other things involving construction, and we've seen sort of lots of changes with traffic measures in this area, especially Michigan Avenue, looks completely different than a year ago. That all impacts that travel time. And when you're talking about retail and commercial, it slows everybody down. And that's not a good thing. Time is money, as they say.
Time is money. Time kills deals. I mean, we're talking about 74,000 cars a day accessing the 794. You're going to put that at street level. And I know that DOT has looked at that, but I will tell you the sentiment of many of the small business owners, many of the employers, is that this is going to hurt their business. It is hard enough to get people to come to downtown Milwaukee if they're not familiar with it. Why would you put up another barrier to entry?
Somebody asked this question on the text line, and I guess I didn't think about it this way.
Sure.
It's a Milwaukee piece of the freeway, right? Right downtown.
It goes through Milwaukee, yes.
Yeah. The state looks at, do they look at it differently than, because it's obviously a part of the interstate system, do they look at it differently than maybe we look at it being right here?
Absolutely. I think that's a really great point, because the DOT is ultimately going to make this decision.
Right.
But of course, they want to work closely with the city. And the reason that the DOT's decision is so important is they're paying for this, right? I mean, that's going to be another consideration for the city to keep in mind is, how do we want to take care of this boulevard if it is eventually ours to take care of? And what are the economic costs and what are the economic benefits? Let's not forget that we have the beautiful Hone Bridge that connects us to Bayview and the South Side. How does that come into play? And what's the grade? What's the engineering? What's the environmental impact? And all these things are going to come out from the DOT. But I'll tell you, my motivation and our motivation as an association to do this study was to get some data to the people. And that's what people were asking for. They said, show me the numbers, show me the data, and that will help me inform the discussion. And I hope it changes the narrative.
Yeah, and for all the folks who say, well, the Hone's not part of this, it is, because you're taking it down the street level and they can't go west to link up with the Marquette interchange. That's a big deal.
The Port of Milwaukee is right there too. And that's, I think, an audience that people need to be thinking about, how much we export, import through that port.
Absolutely. Even the south end of the Hone, traffic from the north, Green Bay, goes east on 794, catches the Hone, goes south to that area.
Yeah.
All important stuff. Got to take a break. Tracy Johnson, President, CEO of CarW, Commercial Real Estate in Milwaukee and beyond, because she's all over the place, always traveling all over the place. We'll dig into some more of the impacts and potential issues with the 794 discussion. Right now, it's a discussion on the 4 proposals with Tracy after this on 620 WTMJ.
All types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Frank Pasternak of Pasternak and Zergabel. Jeff Zergabel and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
I give up. Where are they?
Who?
Hasselus Mattress employees.
Hasselus Mattress showrooms really are employee-free. Give our mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Don't believe it.
You won't believe our prices either. Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more for way less. Free next day delivery, too.
Sure. Next you'll say I can get a free adjustable base with my purchase through Monday.
As a matter of fact, yes.
Oh, come on.
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
Thanksgiving is all about family. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Please don't cook and clean on Thanksgiving. No, make it easy. Relax with your family and enjoy the magnificent Thanksgiving Day buffet at the historic Fox and Hounds. The supper club right there is fantastic. The buffet is all you care to eat with every dish you love for Thanksgiving, including a huge selection of homemade desserts. Sip on an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, over 20 bourbons to choose from, 100 wines, 8 beautiful dining rooms. The 7 real wood-burning fireplaces will keep you warm and cozy. The Fox and Hounds sits in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest. It's a one-of-a-kind gem. It's just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the Holy Hill Shrine. The drive, the views, spectacular. I urge you to call and reserve today. Tables will fill quickly for the all-you-care-to-eat Thanksgiving Day buffet. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. Remember, when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free every night. Google the award-winning Fox and Hounds.
Do the holiday parties, tailgating, and family get-togethers have your liver working overtime? Let Active Liver help give your liver some relief at Amazon or Vitacost.com, CVS, Meijer Grocery, or ShopRite.
Thanks for listening, as always, on this Hump Day edition. I think Jazz is a little sleepy this morning. We didn't get the traditional opening. Maybe it's because Kristen's not here. I don't know, because she likes to antagonize me over that. But it is Hump Day, so for all those of you who celebrate, enjoy your Hump Day. Tracy Johnson in my studio.
Oh, man. You guys are having too much fun, Steve.
That's why I'm still here. All right. So, any further wrap up of the I-794? Maybe a timeline for people to sort of know what we're looking at here.
Yeah. So
it's a ways out.
Yes, and the reason we dropped the study when we did is I think the timing was really good with the public understanding the DOT's traffic studies, and then for us to kind of come in and show the economic impact. And by the way, I did not know what we were going to find. We hired an economist. I have no control over what he found. It's just about what we do with that information. And it was such a great educational experience, and I hope that it can be inserted into the dialogue moving forward. There will be more public meetings in the spring of 2026. I'm not sure if they'll be refining the alternatives and scenarios by that time, but they're looking to have final designs in the coming year or so they can actually look at the environmental impact and look at some of the costs of what these different alternatives would be.
Before we shift gears here, Texter, your segment with Tracy is outstanding. Her keen insights and perspectives are extremely valuable.
Oh, well,
Look
thank
at that.
you.
Is that your parents or?
I don't probably. Well, thank you. Yeah. I try.
Tracy's smart. That's one of the reasons she's here, and that's one of the reasons she was a fill-in host for my show for a long time, because she's good at it and she's a great communicator, which is why you're always all over the country doing similar things.
Sometimes.
You're high profile when it comes to commercial real estate.
No, don't make me talk about myself, Steve.
Too humble. All right. Let's just talk about commercial real estate generally. So obviously we're hopefully seeing the end of the shutdown.
Yep.
But the bigger picture, post-pandemic, now, 3, 4, 5 years later, if you count it from the very beginning, where are we at commercial real estate? Let's focus on the Milwaukee area.
Well, commercial real estate in Wisconsin is doing great. In terms of the office market, the office brokers are very busy. You've got a lot of people renewing. I mean, there's still a lot of the after effects from COVID when people were signing those shorter leases.
Right.
Now it's time to make a decision. You see a lot of employers going to the full in-office work model.
Come on back to work.
They are. You've got a lot of people investing in their real estate across the country, and Wisconsin really lags a little bit, but I think you're going to start to see more and more and more of that. We're looking at the 3 days in, 2 days out to 4 days in, 1 day out kind of thing. People are just understanding that it's better to be in person if it makes sense. Now, there's always the argument for the hybrid option.
Sure, and for a lot of people, that's the way they can make work.
Absolutely.
Work for them in their life and their lifestyles. But you and I know this. I walk the streets all the time. I sometimes meet with my annex advisors over at the Pfister office, and I walk down there. And 3 years ago, I didn't see a lot of people walking around in certain times of the day. Now it's a little busier, even here at the Third Street Market Hall. A lot more busy, especially lunchtime and dinner time. So I think that sort of bringing people back to the downtown. Look, you and I love the downtown of Milwaukee, right? We love the city.
Love it. I used to live here. I lived here for most of my life.
Yeah.
Downtown.
So we celebrate something that, to be honest, some people don't want to enjoy. There's a sort of, we don't go any further than Waukesha. We don't go any further than kind of, which is so silly to me. But when we talk about commercial real estate in that aspect, in your general sense, things are on the uptick.
I think things it varies by segment, but the office
Give
market,
me some numbers there.
So a couple things to consider. Our office vacancy in downtown Milwaukee and kind of this area is around 25%. It's been hovering around that for some time. What you're starting to see now, though, that I think is going to move those numbers is you're seeing a lot of office product come off the market, be converted into multifamily.
Transitioning.
Where it makes sense.
Yeah.
So it moves from an office product to a multifamily. You see that with 100 East. There's speculation on 310 West. There are a lot of buildings that are ripe for office conversion, not just in downtown Milwaukee, but in the suburbs as well.
Not to go backwards in the conversation, but one of the ideas for the taking down of 794 was to add more housing units.
Yes.
Is that a economic boon for the city or no? I mean, property tax maybe, right?
Yes, and there was a study that was done a few years ago that over 30 years it would increase the property tax by $500 million, and that's a real number.
Mm-hmm.
I think we really need to look at what are the parcels of real estate that currently exist and what are the opportunities right now for that housing and multifamily stock. So, kind of tying both of those things together. If we have more supply, what will naturally happen is the prices will come down, and that's obviously a crisis here in Wisconsin. But we do have a lot of opportunity. We also have to look at how are we subsidizing that, and is the city in a position to offer the incentives that it might take for a developer to get that off the ground.
Smart stuff as always. Tracy Johnson joining me. One more segment. We'll do some fun stuff in the last few minutes with Tracy. Coming up in the special guest in the 11 o'clock hour, Chef Michael Fecker. Talking about a lot of things going on with hunger and food and restaurants. So we're going to sort of look at the political implications of all of that with Chef Michael Fecker after the top of the hour news. For you kids, that's 11 o'clock. Quick break, 620 WTMJ.
You're not just a job number as a Sidex customer. They've been family-owned since 1988, and they treat you as part of their family. Upgrade and transform your current bathroom space with Sidex Windows Siding and Bath. They have seasoned design consultants with 10 to 30 years of experience. The owner, Joe, is honoring his dad's legacy with top-tier products and expert craftsmanship. It's Sidex, the best in the business. Get a free shower door upgrade when you mention WTMJ. Visit sidexremodel.com.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns, it's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
$1 in today's world doesn't go far unless you're spending it at Griffin. Because for just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. Buy one or a whole set. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand. We'll put you in new tires for just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. That's right, $1 over cost, and we'll even show you the invoice to prove it. So what's the catch? There's really no catch. You don't have to buy a car or a truck from us. We'd like it if you did, but our only requirement is we put them on for you. Buy one, two, or a set of four. The $1 deal at Griffin. Available at Griffin Chrysler Jeep South, 27th Street, and Griffin Ford Waukesha. The $1 deal at Griffin. Make your dollar go further. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
You don't need a massive walk-in to have a beautiful, organized closet.
Tired of wasted space? Or that pile of shoes that's always hiding behind your closet door?
Abracadabra!
Inspired Closets is the expert at doubling or even tripling your storage space instantly.
It's like magic, but better, because it's custom designed for you.
We make it easy and affordable and transform your space regardless of its size or scope.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Take your family to the Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford or Oshkosh today for the Wednesday all-you-can-eat fish fry and just $7.99. Kids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. Just walk in for your $7.99 fish fry. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft Restaurant.
A giant just stepped into the woods.
Is that enough to stop him? It is not, indeed, anything close to enough.
And the hive is buzzing.
The inbound pass. He will hand up to Giannis. Look out below. Oh, hide the women and children. Giannis goes flying to the rim. He's fouled. He'll have another one.
The Bucks head to Charlotte to face off against the Hornets.
Zeke and destroy.
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:30 on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Always fun to hang out with my pal and President and CEO of Cardano, Tracy John. I think about that for a second. All right, quick development stuff, and then you can talk about whatever you want.
Oh my gosh! Well, a couple things that people might not be paying attention on the radar. Yeah, that's like a title for a segment. Yeah. Brookfield Square, that former Boston store, being developed into the public market. Yeah. That's all kind of happening and in flight. People are probably seeing the dirt being moved around. That's really exciting. Kind of the thought behind that. Also, in the city of Wauwatosa, they're undergoing some 20-year master plan. So I think that will be very interesting to watch, especially as Wauwatosa becomes really such an important city for our region. And there's so many considerations with the medical complex and all of the density considerations, what's happening around Mayfair Mall. All of that. And then
Southridge, too.
Yes. So it'll be interesting. They're in the middle of their comprehensive plan.
They hired some guys I'm really familiar with.
Oh, really? Yeah. You might know.
Barrett Lowe, Matt Rinka, all those folks. Yeah. At least they're in talks. I don't know if they're officially hired, though.
Well, and they're going to play a very important role, I think, in helping build, obviously, more housing and density. These are all market rate apartments and possibly some retail, and really trying to develop that town center. Over in Greendale. I think it'll be really impressive.
It's a great area. I mean, it's obviously transitioned over the year. I just went to a movie. I saw the Springsteen movie at the theater out there. It's been in transition for 40 years. It's been constantly changing.
Well, and the theme with all those three municipalities is they have really good leadership, I think, and that want to lead, they want to engage, and they want to move forward.
All right, last thing, proud mom moments. I know you're a Marquette grad.
Yes. Well, I'm a Marquette University grad, but my son is a freshman at Marquette High, and we just had a marketing committee meeting this morning, and it's so exciting to be around that campus. And my son made the soccer team this past year as a freshman, which is a competitive process.
I can't believe how much they've grown. They're tall, no surprise.
Oh, well, no, I've got one that's really tall and one that's probably more average.
Okay.
Yeah, my 15-year-old is somewhere around 6'3". So we're doing the basketball tryout thing in a couple days.
And still growing, or is that it?
I think he's still growing. The growth chart shows that. So it's so fun. Oh my gosh, being a mom is like the best job in the world.
And then 4 years from now, maybe Marquette University?
Perhaps. We'll see. I'll let him make his choice and, do whatever he wants to do.
And thanks for the book, Tracy, if you're watching on YouTube, brought me Execution, the Discipline of Getting Things Done. And if you've ever seen me speak, one of my slides is typically, it's a swear word, but it says, get S word done. I'm a fan of doing things, not just talking about things.
Yes, exactly. And this book is such a great reminder about how important it is to not just dream big, but to actually execute and get things done.
Great to see you. Always appreciate the wisdom sharing that you do. I've said that a couple times on today's show. We're off to a good start. Tracy, have a great holiday season. The news is next on 620 WTMJ.
There's a lot of noise coming out of Washington these days, but one thing retirees in Wisconsin can't afford to ignore is the new Big Beautiful Bill. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the truth. The changes buried in this bill could have a serious impact on your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we've dug into the details, and we want to make sure you know what's really at stake. The Big Beautiful Bill includes sweeping updates to tax brackets, Social Security thresholds, Medicare premiums, and retirement account rules. And for many retirees, it could mean higher taxes on your savings, more limits on deductions, and unexpected changes to your income plan. Maybe you're already retired, or maybe you're just a few years away. Either way, what you don't know could cost you thousands. That's why we're offering Wisconsin residents a free educational guide to help you understand how the new bill may impact retirees and questions to discuss with your trusted financial advisor. Just text the word tax to 414-897-9522. That's tax, T-A-X, to 414-897-9522. You'll get immediate access to expert insights from the team at Drake & Associates, retirement planners who have been serving Wisconsin for over 20 years. We focus on tax-efficient retirement planning, helping you keep more of your money, avoiding surprises, and staying ahead of the curve no matter what Congress throws your way. So before the big beautiful bill takes a bite out of your hard-earned savings, let's make sure your plan is designed to help prepare for uncertainty. Text TAX to 414-897-9522. That's TAX to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping build retirement confidence right here in Wisconsin.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Are you hosting this holiday season or family staying at the house? Let's get things tightened up or even improved with a timely project from my team at Horner Plumbing. Vince Vitrano here. These are the folks in my contacts list under plumber. Let's get Horner out to the house. Get you a free quote on that project that you've been thinking about, talking about, pushing off, upfront pricing, and an honest assessment from Horner. So you know the project will fit your budget and your timeline. Just heard from Erin over there at Horner, and she tells me they do have room on the schedule for most projects in time for your holiday guests. So whether that's getting the leaky shower or sink fixed for folks who are going to be staying at the home, or a major project so you can accommodate them, my team at Horner is ready to go. With the holidays fast approaching, now's the perfect time to schedule your free quote. Let Horner Plumbing help you get those home projects wrapped up before the season begins. $50 off your first service when you tell them Vinny sent you. Horner Plumbing. Find them online at hornerplumbing.com.
Is that enough to stop him? It is not, indeed, anything close to enough.
A giant just stepped into the woods, and the hive is buzzing.
Pass, he will hand up to Giannis. Look out below. Oh, hide the women and children.
The Bucks head to Charlotte to face off against the Hornets. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:30 on the home of the Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
11:02, we have 46 degrees, sunny, windy, mild today with a high 50 from the WTA Breaking News Center. I'm Connie Weber. The package passed by the Senate to reopen the government expected to be voted on in the House this evening on day 43 of the federal government shutdown, the longest in American history. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson on Capitol Hill this morning.
I just want to apologize to any Americans who are out there who still have flight cancellations or delays today. I want to apologize to the many American families who were made to go hungry over the last several weeks, our troops and other federal employees who are wondering where their next paycheck would come from. All of that's on the Democrats.
The majority GOP committee did not adopt any amendments to the bill that would extend federal health care subsidies. Before the vote on the funding bill, the newly elected Democrat in the House, who's expected to sign on to a petition to force a vote on releasing all of the DOJ's files on Jeffrey Epstein, will be sworn in. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
The last signature needed on that discharge petition that would force the revote of the release of the Department of Justice's Epstein files, tens of thousands of pages of other records. That last individual will be sworn in today. Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva. She hasn't taken her seat for 7 weeks now, despite winning a special election to take her father's seat. She will be sworn in by the Speaker today. She says that she will be, as one of her first acts, the last signature on that discharge petition to force that vote. It starts the clock ticking on that vote, expected to come in the coming weeks.
President Trump was mentioned multiple times in newly released emails from convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee posted the emails on social media this morning. In one, Epstein says Trump knew about the girls and he asked Ghislaine to stop. In an email sent to Ghislaine Maxwell in 2011, Epstein said, "I want you to realize that dog that hasn't barked is Trump." Today's the deadline for people in Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Washington counties to apply for both FEMA individual assistance and SBA loans. This is for homeowners, renters, business owners, and private nonprofits affected by the historic flooding back in August. So far, FEMA's distributed over $153 million to over 29,000 residents in Milwaukee County. A Milwaukee teen will spend decades in prison for a violent elevator attack last December.
17-year-old Tremonte Kirk was sentenced to 35 years in prison plus 20 years of extended supervision for sexually assaulting a 54-year-old woman inside her apartment building near West Wisconsin Avenue. Kirk pleaded guilty to 2 counts of second-degree sexual assault and aggravated battery. Prosecutors referred to him as a serial predator, noting DNA linked him to another case. He was already on GPS monitoring at the time. Records show Kirk had prior juvenile cases for assaulting 3 other women. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Right now, the Dow is up 331 points, NASDAQ down 150, S&P 500 down 9. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:05.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life. At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work. Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. Search AXIS Legal today.
Hey fellas, are you feeling off of your game? If you feel like something is holding you back, connect with the medical professionals at Game Day Men's Health. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. Game Day Men's Health helps guys regain their youthful edge with hormone replacement, vitamin therapy, personalized weight loss plans, plus EPAT therapy, which I've used for injuries such as plantar fasciitis or tennis elbow. And it's all under the care of experienced medical professionals. A free consultation at their clinic in Brookfield, Shorewood, Germantown, or Delafield. Game Day Men's Health. Get back in the game.
The Previent Law Firm has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. The firm's office manager, Chris Wilms. Chris, why James?
I like the fact that the company is local.
Locally owned and managed for over 40 years.
I've toured their facility, which is amazing in itself. It's run by some very wonderful, family-oriented people.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, all backed by real, old-fashioned local service and expertise from great people.
And I can always get a hold of my representative, who I have on speed dial, or I have a cell phone.
It's pretty much that way with the entire team at James.
Yes, I'm always getting very responsive answers when I call tech support.
James Imaging Systems.
So it's very important that I have a local, responsive company to keep us up and going.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers manager Pat Murphy was awarded National League Manager of the Year for the second consecutive season. Murphy led Milwaukee to a record of 97-65, the best in MLB this season. Bucks face off with the Charlotte Hornets tonight in men's college basketball. Number 22 Wisconsin beat Ball State 86-55 in Madison. Tonight, Marquette will host Arkansas Little Rock. Milwaukee will face Indiana on the road. On the women's side, Marquette lost to Minnesota 90-47 on the road. Tonight, Wisconsin continues its homestand against Bowling Green. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. A crash on the ramp from Watertown Plank Road west to I-41 South. It looks like that has been cleared off rather quickly. 41 South at the ramp from County G, right shoulder there blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny, windy, mild, 50 today. Mainly clear, breezy overnight with a low 34. Sunny held tomorrow with a high 52. Sunny and 55 on Friday. Warming up to 62 on Saturday with a slight chance of an afternoon or evening shower. Then Sunday, mostly sunny, high 50. 47 in Madison, 44 in Green Bay, 46 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristen Braun.
Listen, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Yes, it's hump day, but bigger than that, it's special guest day, and it's a good one. Been a while, my friend.
Hello, wonderful. How are you?
Right now, people are going, I know that voice.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since you've been on the show. It's probably early this year in 2025. Chef Michael Fecker of Zesty and El Mito and a lot of your catering business.
Cafe in Delafield.
Yeah. Always busy.
Always your personal chef, everybody. Thank you for having me back, Steve.
Yeah, and as luck would have it, we were both in Italy sort of at the same time this fall.
Yeah, we were, and you were south, and I was kind of north, but that was wonderful.
Where were you exactly?
We flew into Rome. We had a transport took us to a hotel that I had put together in Pienza in the center of Tuscany. And it was a 19-room boutique hotel that used to be the original opera house of Pienza.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
there were 19, and we took the entire hotel. It was just us. Oh my God.
That region
it
is
was
spectacular.
So wonderful. Magnificent.
I often say to people, because they ask me about Italy a lot, and I've been there, I think, 6 times now, where I would suggest they go first. You can touch on Rome, but the Tuscany region will blow you away.
That's true. That's absolutely
food,
true.
Food, wine, sites.
Everything. And how they keep it, how concerned and they are about traffic, about cleanliness, everything. It's just wonderful.
And I stayed at a few of those boutique hotels, one in Montecatini, a few other places. They're fun to stay in.
I know, right?
A lot of them are historic, famous people have stayed there. There's a lot of old spas there that were around for like 150 years. People
and you don't
even
know where
about.
they are. They're all these
they
hidden
just blend
gems.
in.
Yeah, I know. There's just these hidden gems everywhere.
All right, one of the reasons I wanted to bring Chef Michael Fecker on the show is, we haven't Kristen and I haven't talked a lot about the impact on food, the food industry, restaurant scene, and all the things that we talk about every day, tariffs, shutdowns. So I sort of wanted to blend some of that in. I guess we'll start with this. How would you describe like the current economic climate for people like you who are running restaurants, who are doing catering? Like, how is that going?
Yeah. So it all trickles down if you think about it. When you have less income, you have less desire to go out and splurge and take care of yourself or pamper yourself. So this has been affecting everybody. And something that happens also in situations like this, it happened during COVID, a train has been created of expense, more expense, higher expense, and everybody is riding that train. So meat companies are still charging up there, even though things can be going kind of downhill and looking better, but they're still charging, and I gotta eat that. I don't want my customers to worry about that. So I have not touched my menu prices whatsoever.
And I'm sure customers appreciate that because a lot of other things have gone up.
Absolutely, Steve. They actually, some entities and operations look for situations like this to increase their prices. My whole analogy is keep it where it was so your customers know that you do appreciate them and they do keep coming back.
From a business owner perspective, how do you make that math work? I mean,
you can't. You can't. So basically say, for this period of time, I don't need to see any net profit. I survive. I pay the bills. That is all I need to do. And time will change. These things are not forever. Times will change.
On the innovation side of doing what you do, because often when people go to a restaurant or think about going to a restaurant, it's like, I was there once. How do you transform that experience, given those sort of limits, what you can do with cost, and sort of remake, renovate, rechange those things at like a smart number?
A number, right. So that is basically figuring out exactly what truly your fixed costs are and what is the fluctuating costs, such as food costs. Today chicken is this much, tomorrow beef is that. As long as I can keep everything stable and pay my bills for that period of time, I'm content. I'm happy.
You and I have talked about this issue before. It's what we've sort of allowed in this country when it comes to food and preservatives. Right? That's a big one.
Right.
I would argue, and you and I both know this, you travel overseas, the food tastes better. Sort of the remarkable thing, it's cheaper too.
Right.
They don't seem to have the same issue like we do. We always want to make things last forever.
You're so correct. And you were just there. And when you went to Italy and people had pasta there, the ones that feel that they're gluten intolerant and they are celiac, they don't have the same issues there because the genetically modified ingredients are not allowed in Italy or everywhere else. Some countries do. For example, I assure you, China deals with that mess just as we do in many ways. But some countries refuse to buy grain from us, refuse to buy our beef. Why? Because of all of those genetically modified ingredients and the preservatives that are in the ingredients.
So as a restaurateur and a business owner and somebody who has to pay the bills, how do you can you source things that don't have those things in them?
Yes, but they're more expensive. And you know what? That's again, what am I trying to achieve here? Am I trying to get rich overnight or am I trying to create a brand? If I'm trying to create a brand, all brands got to be faith-driven, Steve. Otherwise, they don't last. And faith is trust, without knowing or without seeing. So they know what I'm sourcing is going to be as pure as possible. I do not buy prosciutto from Canada or from U.S. I buy my prosciutto imported from Italy. Why? Because there is no sodium nitrates in there. The same thing with my anchovies. They come from Italy because they're packed in extra virgin olive oil instead of packed in salt. That costs more. But when your customer tastes it and goes, oh my God, I just went to anchovy heaven. What happened here? It pays off.
You know what the reaction is? I think I had this experience when my friends Jim and Karen went with us to Il Mito. Oh, that's what lasagna is supposed to taste like. I go, yeah, that's like real lasagna, not the stuff maybe other people have been force feeding you all these years.
Right.
He is Chef Michael Fecker of restaurant fame, and I would say single-handedly probably brought back the Tajín brand.
We truly brought back the Tajín brand.
It's unbelievable.
My friend, you did this.
You did. I didn't know anything about it. And then wherever I go, and they mention Chef Michael Fecker's Tajín.
Yeah, that's it. That's him.
Maybe we'll explore that a little bit later. Lots I want to talk about. I want to talk about the community piece of the food industry and how we fix that, or at least make things smoother. We'll explore that with Chef Michael Fecker, who's our guest this hour on Point Taken. Kristen will be off. She is off today. She'll be with us tonight, though, at the event at Revere's, our trivia event. Do not miss it. I'll be there about 6-ish. Starts at 7. Don't get there at 7 because we're already starting to gear up by then. So don't miss it. Revere's
I know what they should be. They're next to my Il Mito Cafe. Revere's is in Delafield.
How about that? Go for dinner.
Oh my God, what a day! How'd you figure this one out?
I'd never been to Revere's.
Oh my God, you're gonna love it. And then make sure you stop by and you have a glass of wine.
Well,
I'll be there.
You know I'll do that.
I'll be there.
Oh, you're gonna be there.
I'll be there.
Oh,
yeah.
there we go. How about that? A 2-for-1.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, quick break. 620 WTMJ.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi, Milwaukee weight loss. Yes, it's true. 45 pounds as of yesterday on my journey since January. I initially wanted to lose 30, and then I said, let's keep it going. Want to look better, feel better is probably the most important part of that. I am back in the reduction phase, want to make an even 50 for the new year. If you're frustrated like I was with all the trendy stuff, the shots, the meds, the Meals Bar Shakes thing, the yo-yo diets, as I call them, Milwaukee Weight Loss helped me lose the weight without all of that stuff. None of that stuff, just real results that last, and it reset my metabolism. So I have not been challenged, even with international trips and dinners out, to keep the weight off. That's the smart part. The weight comes off and stays off. So it's Dr. Developed and Natural, helped thousands of people just like me and probably you lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks. Ready to stop all that crazy stuff? Take control of your own life, smarter, faster, safer way to reach your ultimate goal and happiness quota, right? Milwaukee Weight Loss and their incredible team, and their coaches are outstanding, by the way. Schedule your free consultation today at 262-393-2334. That's 262-393-2334 or MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
Chef Michael Fecker, my guest this hour on 620 WTMJ. Yes, he's going to stick around for Ask Steve Anything, because why not? He's Chef Michael Fecker. He of Tajín fame, Il Mito, and the cafe in Delafield, which I just talked about, but we're probably going to have dinner there tonight. Yeah. And, of course, Il Mito in beautiful Wauwatosa.
That's the original, baby. Yes, my original baby.
And it's a fun. If you've ever been there, go there. It's just a fun restaurant. All right, so I mentioned community before the break.
Right.
It means a lot of things to a lot of people. As somebody who runs restaurants and understands that dynamic, the food industry, you can define it however you want. You probably look at it from a restaurant perspective.
Right.
How does that help a community?
Got it. So it's a gathering place. If you look at it as a gathering place and where you go to break bread and create memories, then it really combines with the community. It's one of the musts that we should have. You want a place where you can go sit down, enjoy a glass of wine and a nice pasta, then mingle and talk. It is funny, Steve, through the magic of food, all guards come down. I don't know what it is. You know, when you sit around the table and you break bread and you eat, you're willing to talk to anyone without judging. And that's the beauty of it. So that is why I always make my places an eatery or a hangout. I want it to be your place away from home, your second home, basically.
They're great places to talk.
Yeah.
That's why I've been so big on this issue, because I don't like when people have their smartphones out, or I call them just phones, because they're the opposite of smart generally for most people.
Right.
I think a restaurant environment can bring conversation back.
Correct.
And as somebody who's talked about politics for 10 years and was a politician before that, if in the better sense, not the ugly sense of the ones now, I think that it all starts with communication and conversation.
Totally. And also the energy within. That means the energy that exists within the space that has been created for you. If it's cold, if it doesn't have a soul, then you go back to your best friend, which is that so-called smartphone, and try to pass time. The other night, actually, I was at Il Mito, and I had a chef's counter event, and I have a big window, as you know.
Yeah.
I could see. There's a 8-year-old child sitting right there in between mom and dad. And I saw that he pulled his phone out. So I went right next to him. I said, do me a favor. First of all, he didn't know who I was. Who is this guy? Yeah. I said, do me a favor. Put that phone away, or give it to me, or give it to mom and dad. Have dinner with mom and dad. I'll buy you whatever dessert you want at the end of your dinner.
Nice.
Mom and dad, is that allowed? They looked at each other. They said, yeah, of course it's allowed. He gave his phone away. Then he sent me a card. Yesterday, chef, that was the best dinner I ever had.
Wow.
And you could see that mom or dad helped him write that, but it was just magnificent. Yeah, it's our choice. That's a choice. That's a choice.
One of the things that I respect about you is you are so good at obviously the cooking side of things and the preparation, all of that, and the ingredients. But the table presence, I don't know if I've discovered anyone better. There's a few folks that I can think of, but you're good at that. And that sort of it's not just a separation, it brings it to the customer.
Exactly. And they feel it. Are you there because you feel forced to be there, or are you there because you want to be there? I am there because I love to give service. When I pull you in and I laugh and joke and we talk about food and I can break it down for you, it's like suddenly, instantly, you allowed a piece of me to become a part of your heart. That is the way I look at it.
I love the textures. It always lights up the text line. It's Signing Unlimited WTMJ Talking text line 855-616-1620. And yes, Chef Ricker will stick around for our Ask Steve Anything edition today. I love Chef Fecker's pea soup.
Thank you.
I've never
I
had
love that soup. You have never had it?
No.
So it's fresh peas, but usually, I cook that with onion, carrots, and blend it. And then as a thickener, instead of using flour to thicken the soup, I use dry peas, which is the split peas, basically.
Right.
So I cook them together, and once the dry peas are nice and soft, I blend, and you have a thick pea soup with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, few croutons for crunch and texture, and some Parmesan for contrast.
You're making me hungry because I've had a protein bar so far today. That's it. All right, so
I'm your personal chef, my friend. I'm right here.
Well, you may have to fulfill that role tonight at 5
you got
o'clock.
it.
A question for you, and that relates to what we were just talking about. The pasta exports to the U.S. could be virtually wiped out by a proposed 107%.
Correct.
It's a random number. What does that mean to...
That means no Italian pastas. Or everybody that are listening right now, just check it, and I'm sure you felt it. You see price of wine. You see price of cold cuts coming from Italy. You see price of pastas. It's true. It's true. But I think before it gets to that kind of a tariff and that percentage of markup, they're going to come to terms with this.
Smarter heads will prevail?
I'm sure they will.
My objection to all of this has been, why irritate our allies?
I don't know.
We love Italy here. At least I do, and you do.
Yeah, I do. I mean, everybody does, And they're one of those entities and countries that really don't mess with us, that much. But there are always reasoning behind negotiations, and people negotiate in different ways. And sometimes we don't like those kind of vehicles that we use to negotiate. And maybe that is the way they're negotiating right now.
Chef Michael Fecker, our guest from Restaurant Fame in our area of the States. And if you're ever coming down, just Google Michael Fecker. You'll find all the cool stuff he does, including those sort of behind-the-scenes table dinner things.
Yes.
What do you call it? Chef's table.
Private chef's counter, yes.
Amazing stuff. After the break, think about this during the break here for our partners. Are we fully back from where we were right before the pandemic.
Oh boy, I love
Not
this.
in the pandemic.
No.
Before the because
I
that's
got you.
2019.
Totally
we
understand.
all know what happened in 2020.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Chef Michael Fecker, our guest. Lots more to come on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Kristen Bry, and if you're in the market for a new dentist, you should check out my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economwalk Dental Care. Dr. Michaels is committed to providing you with the highest level of care possible. I can assure you that he will prioritize your needs, no matter how sensitive, just like he did with mine. And also, he will be honest with you about what work you need now and what can wait. So whether you need a simple cleaning and exam, a teeth whitening, a more complex dental procedure, Economwalk Dental Care is always there to make you feel as comfortable as possible and give you and your family an amazing smile. And dental care doesn't have to break the bank. Dr. Michael's fantastic staff can set you up with a no-interest payment plan. Listen, we all have to go to the dentist, so don't put it off any longer. Call and make an appointment today with my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economwalk Dental Care. You can find him at drmichaelsdentalcare.com or give him a call at 262-567-7224.
It's like you don't want to even do anything anymore. You lay in bed in the morning, putting off the pain. You put off your workouts. You put off your walks. And yard work, that's just not even an option anymore. As we speak, pain is taking away more and more from your life. And unless you take action, it's going to get worse. And that's no way to live. Not when there's a Rejuvenex clinic nearby. Because the power of Toradol, joined with the wonder of hyaluronic acid, can alleviate your pain. And it can allow you to start living your life again. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. At as low as $65 per injection per joint, Rejuvenex treatments are affordable. They're FDA approved. And in many cases, our patients pay nothing at all. Because insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, pay for them. If your pain just won't go away, you should call Rejuvenex today.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Google reviews will tell you it's worth a try.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love my dogs, Bella and Baxter, an important part of our family. They're kind of like kids sometimes, and like kids, they weren't always listening, but I've got it figured out now. Thanks to Matt and his teams at Sit Means Sit Dog Training, our dogs are better behaved. They don't bark as much. They just listen better. They're happy, confident, obedient. Our house is a better house. Sit Means Sit Dog Training turned it around for us. Let them do the same for you. You can start with a free consultation. The website is sitmeanssitwaukesha.com. Sitmeanssitwaukesha.com.
A giant just stepped into the woods.
Is that enough to stop him? It is not, indeed, anything close to enough.
And the hive is buzzing.
The inbound pass, he will hand up to Giannis. Look out below. Oh, hide the women and children. Giannis goes flying to the rim. He's fouled. He'll have another one.
The Bucks head to Charlotte to face off against the Hornets.
Seek and destroy.
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:30 on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Never go wrong with some Springsteen. We'll bounce back into the show. Chef Michael Fecker joining us for the hour. We're gonna sort of weave into the Ask Steve Anything portion because Kristen's off today. She'll be joining us at Revere's in Delafield tonight, which I found out from Chef Michael Fecker, who's my guest, that right next to your restaurant out there.
Yeah.
And the name of that restaurant is?
Il Mito Cafe.
Yeah, which I haven't been to. I've been to the other ones.
Yep.
Zesty.
I think you're going to love it, with the patio and the fire pits and the garage doors. Totally different accent. But when you walk in, it's like you walk into Naples. Red checkered tablecloths, white butcher paper on top.
Well, your glass of wine will sort of warm me up for my trivia event.
I will make sure that glass of wine and a Negroni.
Maybe
and
both.
Then one of
and
your
then that's
favorite.
it, because I have to drive later. Yeah,
then you do your magic.
All right, real quick, I asked you this question before the break. We got to get to the bottom of the hour news here in a second. But are we back to where we were before the pandemic when it comes to restaurants?
Yes. My friends, think about our industry also like everything else. Supply and demand, right? The demand was always there, Steve. We just didn't have the supply. We didn't have the employees or the team members to give proper service and cook for our customers. It's back. We are back. But still, what happened is many of those that were in our industry pivoted. During the pandemic, they pivoted and they started working for Piggly Wiggly and, putting things on the shelf, for example. No, there is no one in our industry right now that is truly dedicated. If you're lucky to find some of those dedicated ones, it's a slam dunk. The demand now, I'll tell you, went through the roof. If we had the right amount of people and the amount of employees to come back.
That's the
and
big
help.
one.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're still struggling with.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Why don't young? Because it was primarily young people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or young adults.
Yeah, correct.
Why is there that hesitation?
Because now, remember, we talk about a lot of things that we didn't used to. Stress level. In a kitchen, if you're not working with the right leader, it is full of stress and it gets to you. You know, you want to go out after work, as far as leaving the restaurant, you're ready to stab yourself because you're so stressed due to the screaming and the yelling and this and that. Thank God, life is full of cycles.
He is Chef Michael Fecker's going to stick around because he's offered, and I'm accepting his Thanksgiving advice.
Oh, absolutely.
'Cause we
And
know that's coming up.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, turkey. We got to talk turkey.
Lots to talk about with that.
Yes.
All coming up. We got local news update from Connie Weber, of course. Before we get to that now, we always do this as well. The latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A final vote on a measure to reopen the government scheduled for tonight, but the fight for extending health care premiums not over yet, according to House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries. Here's ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
One question is how many Democrats in the House will cross the aisle to end the shutdown? 8 Democrats in the Senate supported the measure, drawing the ire of progressives from coast to coast because the bill doesn't include an extension of expiring Obamacare subsidies. Assuming there's full attendance in the House tonight, Speaker Mike Johnson can only afford to lose 2 Republican votes before needing the support of Democrats to get the bill onto the president's desk.
Democrats on the House Oversight Committee released excerpts of emails related to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation sent to and from the convicted sex offender. Some of them dated 2011, reference his former friend Donald Trump. Republicans accusing Democrats of cherry-picking those emails. Americans are still under freeze alerts as that cold blast lingers across much of the country. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. We Energy's plans to spend more than $5 billion on new energy projects as Wisconsin prepares for a surge in power demand from data centers. Expansion includes solar fields, battery storage, and natural gas plants, adding nearly 3 gigawatts of electricity, enough to power more than 2 million homes. While data centers would foot most of the bill, residential and business customers would still cover about 25% of natural gas plant costs and a portion of solar projects. Regulators expected to review the plans over the next year. Pius High School says it wants to continue partnering with the city of Milwaukee and Milwaukee Public Schools on the future of Dyer Field. Schools use the field for student athletics for more than 50 years and is exploring long-term plans to enhance the space while still keeping it open for the neighborhood. Pius says early renderings shown at a community meeting last year are no longer accurate after feedback from residents and city leaders. 22-year-old in the hospital after being shot Tuesday afternoon happened just before 5 p.m. near La Follette Public School on 10th and Ring Street. Police continue to look for unknown suspects as circumstances involving the incident are investigated. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 363, 48,291. The Nasdaq down 123, 23,344. S&P 500 down a point at 6,845. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-94 West, about a half mile beyond the ramp from Highway 100. Right shoulder there is blocked due to a broken down vehicle. There is another one on the exit to Locust Street from I-43 North. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny, windy, mild today, high 50. Clear and breezy tonight, low 34. Sunny and mild tomorrow with a high 52. Sunny on Friday with a high 55. Up to 62 on Saturday, but increasing cloudiness. It will be breezy and just a slight chance of an afternoon or evening shower. Sunday, mostly sunny, high 50. 49 in Madison and in Milwaukee. 47 degrees in Green Bay. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but the way of life at Gruber Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for more than 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we have what you need to tackle fall projects for less. Right now, get unbeatable prices on quality brands of feed and supplies to keep your farm going strong. Like Tomcat Mouse and Rat Repellent Place Packs, $19.99. 20% off assorted MD brand weather stripping products. Assorted performance tool grease guns and accessories, also 20% off. Plus, order online and pick your items up in just 1 hour in our convenient drive-thru. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
I know, Mondays and Tuesdays can be a drag, kind of a challenge. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Brighten up your day with a free dinner tonight and witness the spectacular fall colors as you drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Enjoy a brandied New York steak, the delicious ribs, pan-fried walleye, any pasta, even steak and lobster. Your second dinner is always free. Desserts and ice cream drinks, and I love these. Buy one, get one free. Relax with an old-fashioned. Choose from 20 bourbons, 100 wines, ice-cold tap beer. You can see the stunning fall colors from most tables in the 8 unique dining rooms, and your second dinner's free. The Fox and Hounds, just off 167 near Holy Hill. The breathtaking views through the Kettle Moraine Forest and surrounding the Fox and Hounds is a Wisconsin must-see. Check out the patio in the woods. Tables are open tonight. Make a quick call. Reserve your free dinner. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Now it's time for Ask Us Anything on Point Taken. Got a burning question? Give us a call or text on the Siding Unlimited talk and text line at 855-616-1620.
Sort of an expanded edition of Ask Steve Anything today, because my guest in the studio, he stuck around. We're talking about the economics and the impact of some of this government shutdown tariffs on the restaurant industry. Chef Michael Fecker in studio, and we thought, well, let's weave in the Ask Steve Anything part. And obviously, the big Thanksgiving date is coming up. Let's talk some turkey.
Absolutely.
What do we need to know?
Okay. First of all, everybody, you don't need to remember everything. If you want all of these things at your disposal, just go to cheffecker.com, click on recipes, and you will have the Thanksgiving button right there. Click on it. You have turkey, you have sides, you have sausage, you have the cranberry, all of those things. The first thing that I want to share with all of you is buy your turkey in a smaller package. That means buy 2 small ones instead of 1 big one.
Why is that?
Because the meat is not as fibrous. It has had a chance to grow, and when it gets too big, it becomes very tough and very fibrous and very little water content. Another thing is brining is important in turkeys because turkeys are very, very low in water content and fat content. So you have to fool. The way I fool my turkeys, I always put a compound butter, which is a mixture of butter and fresh herbs and lemon juice, under the skin. But the key there is this trick, guys, don't share it with anybody, okay? This is just for you. You take some cubes of ice, you crush them, and you mix them with your butter. What are you doing there? You're creating more water content that can slowly run through the breast, turn into steam, and let your turkey cook low and slow. That is something that I learned from my master, my mentor, that I truly believe in everything that I do is, I mean, those little tricks is just incredible. And it would make such a difference in your turkey. And you do my turkey, you don't do it the day of. You do it 2 to 3 days before.
Why?
You just put, that way you don't have to worry. You can be a guest at your own event.
Right.
You're always slaving in the kitchen when you throw a party of 20 people for Thanksgiving. And at the end of the event, all of you grab your hair and go, why did I do this? Well, you do it again next year. You know, I don't want you to have any stress.
The one that comes up a lot is, and I guess this is subjective, what's the best way to cook a turkey?
Okay. The best way to cook a turkey, if you really want to get a juicy, wonderful turkey, is to fry a turkey. Because you're allowing the fat content, which is the oil, turn into a specific temperature, surround the turkey, and slowly cook it through. But I bake it. I roast it. I roast my turkey. But I always brine it, and I always put compound butter because I start 4 days in advance. I have the chance to put a little bit of this there, do it tomorrow, and my garage is colder than my refrigerator anyway. So I just put my turkey outside on a nice pedestal above the ground.
Where do you fall on the stuffing debate? Not just inside or outside, but like what should be in stuffing?
Okay. It all depends on what you want your turkey to be complemented with. Italian sausage, for example, sage, those are contrast. A little bit of dry fruits, whether you like apricot. What do you want to bring to the table? You know, what kind of flavors do you want to bring to the table? So I like all of those dry fruits, some Door County cherries, some sage, some Italian sausage, contrast, sweet, spicy, on and on and on. Yeah. And I never do, by the way, I never do stuffing inside the bird because that forces me to make sure that the internal temperature of the stuffing is 180. By the time I do that, the bird is 200. The poor bird is dead, and we kill it the second time, and we wonder why. It's woody.
Somebody asked, could you cook a smaller turkey, I'm guessing, in one of those Nescos?
Yes, you
can put that on low.
Yeah,
on low.
absolutely, low and slow. Yeah, absolutely. But what I suggest you do after the turkey is cooked, you take it and you turn your oven to 500 and then throw it in there for a few minutes. Let it crisp up the skin of the turkey. In a Nesco, there's too much moisture. It never crisps up. But when you throw it in the oven for about 5 minutes at 500 degrees, boom, it does the job.
John on the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line asked Chef Fecker about his pressure cooker from Spain. Apparently, they ended up buying one from you.
Yep.
Still use it today.
Favor. Yes, sir. Absolutely, John. I still use it today. I can't live without it, my friend. Pressure cooker, when you're in time crunch, pressure cooker does something for you 1/3 of the time. If it takes an hour, it does it in 20 minutes. What it is basically a seal that does not allow the pressure to escape, so it increases the pressure and cooks your food really, like short ribs, Steve. Ossobuco, things that take 3 hours, 4 hours.
Roasted chicken, right?
Roasted chicken.
Yeah.
Roasted chicken, absolutely.
Do you have roasted chicken in your restaurant?
No, I do not, but I love roasted chicken.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah, my wife's roasted chicken, oh my God.
All right, if you have a question for me, could be about politics. I don't care. I'm sure Sheffer would have a comment. Or food, Thanksgiving,
Absolutely.
food-related question, 855-616-1620 as we celebrate a special Ask Us/Steve, Ask Chef Fecker edition of the show.
What about politics of food?
There you go. Also a good question.
Great question.
We'll do that after this on 620 WTMJ.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Milwaukee County leaders moving forward with the budget for 2026. The County Board of Supervisors approving the $1.3 billion spending plan.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
A state legislative committee unanimously orders an audit of the Department of Public Instruction's handling of misconduct allegations.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Advent. I never get tired of talking about Advent because it changed my life and it can change yours as well. If you have some of those sleeping issues, for me it was snoring, not waking up constantly, which was my problem. So I went to Advent. This is way before I was a spokesperson. I was just a customer and a client, and I asked the question. I asked the hard questions, like, what can you do for me? And after a really simple sleep study that they helped me with at home, I found out it was my sinuses and nasal passages. They opened them up, and since that moment, I breathe better. Some people say I even speak better. But here's the cool part. When I go to bed, I sleep solidly until the morning. I don't wake up for any reason. Solid night's sleep make you a happier, more rested, refreshed human being. And anybody who knows Grouchy Steve knows that's a preference over the alternative. So anyway, if you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better. I'm honest. This works. Trust me. Go to AdventKnows.com and schedule an appointment today because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days because most banks still issue pre-approval letters without actually verifying your income, employment, or down payment. That's the exact opposite of an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval, where we put a $2,000 guarantee behind the fact the seller can actually rely on the terms of your pre-approval and offer. With AccuNet, there's also a possibility of issuing a property-specific pre-approval with as little as a 10% down payment that includes the magic words, no appraisal required. That's right, AccuNet may be able to issue your pre-approval without needing an appraisal. That's the kind of certainty that can help a seller say yes to your offer. Sure, you can try competing with a flimsy bank pre-approval, or you can click on the blue button at AccuNet.com and get started with the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as the best in the business. That's ACCUNET.com.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
At Bank of America, we're proud that more than 20,000 veterans and people with military backgrounds have joined our ranks since 2015. Now we're committed to adding 10,000 more over the next 5 years. By helping veterans achieve their career goals, we're moving from appreciation to action. And together, helping expand economic opportunity across America. Visit bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Spice up your workday at the original Botanas on 5th Street. Enjoy flavorful and affordable Mexican lunch specials. Always made fresh and served fast with a free cup of soup. Authentic taste, local favorite. Mi casa es su casa at Botanas.
Special edition of Ask Steve Anything with Chef Michael Fecker sticking around. We talked about sort of the politics of food, and you can certainly ask a question related to that. Let's rip through some of these turkey questions because I got a bunch of them. Nesco and turkeys, yeah? Okay.
Yes, they can do that, but then you have to crisp it up.
Okay, cooking bag for turkeys.
I have never used it, but it makes sense because basically it traps all the moisture and it allows the moisture to cook the turkey. But again, you got to finish it in the oven to get that crisp notes that you want.
Have you ever used a Ninja cooker? That's from
No,
John.
I have not.
Okay.
No, I have not. I'll be lying if I say yes.
How do you reheat the turkey if you roast it days ahead? That's a good question.
That's a great question. So this is what you do. You turn back your oven to 500 degrees and you pull your turkey out of the refrigerator or your garage. You let it sit at room temperature. When you're ready to eat, you give yourself 45 minutes before. You put the turkey back in the oven at 500. The heat is so intense, it's not going to have a chance to penetrate within. It just crisps up the exterior, and that's all it does, and makes your turkey warm enough to be sliced beautifully.
Jim asks, Chef Fecker, what is your guilty food pleasure?
Pasta, bread, pasta, bread, pasta, bread. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Specifically on the pasta. I asked my guide in Sicily this question. Favorite type of pasta?
Pici from Tuscany, rigatoni. Those are the two. Pici is basically a spaghetti that is extremely thick. And in one of my trips that we did this year, I took everybody to pici making. So we made the pici and we sat down and I cooked for everybody and we had dinner.
One for me. This is from John in Bayview. Thanks, Steve, for what you do. Do you have confidence in the impartiality of the U.S. Supreme Court? Do you think they can and should consider a republic's future in their rulings? I do have confidence, but it's shaky. And I think as we look at some of the push to make the position of President of the United States sort of a unitary position where they don't listen to anybody else, I think that's dangerous, and I think we should consider that. And the court should certainly look at the law and the Constitution and all those things, but you got to think about what happens next in our country. All of these things have significance. And I think from my conversation yesterday with Jim Santel, former U.S. attorney, and Mary Kuhnmensch, a retired judge from Milwaukee, I got the sense they also think that some of the decisions will go against sort of this push to make an all-powerful president. Here's the problem, though, and thanks for the question, John. What the president does with those rulings, for the first time we are seeing a president who might say to the highest court in the land, I don't care what you say. Yeah. Then the next question is what happens next. All right. What's this thing called flavor soldiers? Never heard of this term.
Well, so my foundation, which is Chef, CHEF.
Yeah, tell people I can find it and all that.
Culinary Hospitality Educational Foundation. Go to cheffecker.com and click on my foundation and you will see. So I have teamed up with Bank 59 and I have put a boot camp basically together that teaches the soldiers, our veterans that want to get into the food industry, how to understand and put two hats on. You have to have a restaurateur hat on and a chef hat on. Just because you cook well doesn't mean that you're going to keep the lights on. So that is what my boot camp is about, bringing in 40 years of my experience of falling down and getting up and learning from my mistakes and sharing it with those flavor soldiers that are going to be everywhere.
Especially relevant since yesterday was Veterans Day.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the timing couldn't be any better, but they are a magnificent kind of energy that we need. They have all the soft skills that my industry is craving. Magnificent in time management, magnificent in giving themselves to a cause. I mean, they're the least selfless person you can ever imagine.
On the mechanics and logistics of operating a restaurant, you can be a chef, but running a restaurant, a business, is a different thing, right?
Totally. That's why we have the highest rate of failure in any industry is restaurant industry. Why? Because you think you can cook, but how are you going to keep the lights on a stage where you can perform and share your food? That comes all business. That's why it's called restaurant business. It's just not called restaurant and food, restaurant business. So absolutely, you need to have two hats, restaurateur hat and a chef hat.
Somebody asked the impact of your acquisitions of food for your restaurant. Tariffs have had an impact on you?
Huge. I'm an Italian I'm an Italian restaurant. I buy all of my Italian products coming from Italy, and they have tariffs on them right now.
You think that'll subside at some point here?
Yes, I hope so. And that's one of the things that you said. We have, in some ways, somebody or our president that says, look, you know what? I really don't care what you say. I'm going to do what I want. And majority of them are done via, executive orders. My whole concern is this. Why are we putting tariffs on certain things that we cannot produce here ourselves? We cannot do a prosciutto di Parma because this is not Parma, and the pig doesn't eat what it's supposed to eat. Why are we putting tariffs on truffles?
I've been to Parma hams. I saw that operation. It's very unique.
30% of the diet is the whey from the Parmigiano cheese.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's why they have that creamy note.
All right. Get those last-minute questions. We got a few minutes remaining with Chef Fecker as we sort of wind up our Hump Day edition. I see a couple popping in, 855-616-1620, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ Talking Text Line. You're listening, of course, to 620 WTMJ.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Take your home from clean to immaculate. Save up to $100 on select models right now at West Bend Vacuum Center, including central vacuum systems, HEPA vacs, and cordless vacs. Save even more when you trade in your old vacuum. Shop Sebo, Mila, Simplicity, and Riccar vacuums. Don't miss the big sale going on now at West Bend Vacuum Center. For an exclusive pricing on everything through Christmas, visit westbendvacuum.com or call 262-335-2222.
Since 1957, we've been making great pizzas. The recipe's the same, the dough's made daily like it's always been. The fresh veggies are cut daily, and the quality control remains as high as it's ever been. We gotta keep it high, because we know when you can count on consistency, that it keeps you coming back. So how about Marty's Pizza tonight?
Remember Marty's Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
The countdown is on. Black Friday is almost here at Fox World Travel, and the travel deals are better than ever. Get ready to explore the world with our top partners, including Viking, Globus, Delta Vacations, and Insight Vacations. Whether you're dreaming of European river cruises, tropical getaways, or guided land tours, we've got something for every kind of traveler. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO to get on our list for when these savings go live.
Shop smarter with Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee, Michigan, just a few seconds across the Wisconsin border. Award-winning, organically grown, quality products you can trust. Don't settle for knockoffs in Wisconsin. Get the real deal at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Lots of comments and questions on the text line, 855-616-1620. Nice compliment from Bob in Rolling Meadows. Good show today. Thanks. Sort of a different show, but with Kristen here, I thought we'd sort of mix it up a little bit. Always fun to sort of get back to my roots as well. Wendy asks, did I already ask about slicing before reheating?
No, not yet.
Okay, get your mic on. There we go.
Yeah.
So if you cook it a day ahead, do you slice it or not slice it before reheating?
You don't, Wendy. You do not slice it because if you do, the juices are going to run when you're warming it. You don't want that to happen. Second of all, please, everybody, go to Chef Feker, ChefFeker.com, and it's all there for you. I don't want you to at all worry about losing or not remembering something.
Somebody asked about wine and cooking. If you don't know anything about adding wine to cooking, what's a basic starting tip?
White Pinot Grigio, red Chianti. Those are the driest on both spectrum. Now, you want to cook down the wine until the alcohol has evaporated.
So how
and
long is that?
That would depends on how much quantity you're adding. So if let's say you're putting an inch, you want to cook it down to half an inch.
So one of the myths, or maybe it's not a myth, that when you cook the wine, it takes the alcohol out of your dish. Is that true or not true?
It is.
It is true.
Alcohol is the first thing that evaporates because it goes, basically, you see it in the steam, and it goes away. And if some people don't want wine in there at all in their food because they don't want to have alcohol in it, then they can use chicken broth.
Chef Michael Feker sitting in for Ask Steve Anything on this special edition today with Kristen Off. What's the trick of cooking pasta? A bunch of people ask this question. I don't know. I like it al dente.
Al dente. Make sure that your water tastes like the water of the sea. That means it has sufficient amount of salt that you can taste it. And then cook pasta. Let's say your box says 8 minutes. You cook it to 6. And then you put it in your sauce and you cook the last 2 minutes within the sauce.
In the sauce?
In the sauce. Otherwise, your sauce and your pasta are always separated. You need a marriage. You got to have them sign the prenuptial. You got to get all of them come together. So that's the whole trick here.
Bringing it together. Bringing people together and your sauce and your pasta.
Absolutely.
I'm not a fan of the white sauces for pasta.
Well, neither am I, because you're getting, in a white sauce, you don't get acid. Now, if I put some capers and lemon juice in your white sauce, you will. In a tomato sauce, you're naturally getting the acid from the tomato, so your palate is going, oh, I want more, I want more, I want more.
All right, time for one more question. The magic in making a meatball.
Magic of making good, use good
in 30
meat,
seconds or less.
Use good meat and have some bread that
what
you can
kind
soak
of meat?
in milk. I do Italian sausage, chicken, and beef. That is my meatball.
A third.
One third.
Okay.
And bread soak in milk for an hour, squeeze the milk out,
that's
fluff it in.
That's really the secret.
Yeah, that's
a lot of people skip that one.
Yeah, they add breadcrumbs. They think they're achieving the same thing. No, you need air pockets, and bread gives you air pockets.
So you soak it in the milk.
Milk.
Why milk?
Well, you can do it in water, but water is a thief. It steals, and the milk gives a little bit of fat to the meatballs.
And we'll wrap it up with a political question. Steve, which Republican will flip to keep the Epstein files from release? A lot of people talk about Nancy Mace, and that's what the texter said as well. Thank you for being here as always.
Love you, Steve. Love you all. Thank you for listening to me.
Website?
ChefFeker.com. ChefFeker.com.
All right, I'll see you at Revere's tonight, 7 p.m., but I'm going to be eaten out by Chef Feker tonight right next door.
I'll be cooking for him, everybody.
Revere's in Delafield, presented by Quizmaster Trivia. Join us, Capco's Kids and Kids Toy Drive, 855-616-1620. Text the word toy. News is next.
Don't think twice. Call Dice.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geiss's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geissdoors.com. Geiss has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between.